Sup guys, Q&A. Let's start with questions from Instagram. At first, how much money did you spend on supplies? I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly. It's been a few years now, but what I do remember is that I was collecting tools and supplies gradually. So I didn't just go and buy everything, I was buying things over time. So that's probably why it's harder to remember at the moment. But torch itself was about £30, I think, or 20, 26, 29 probably. So that's already a big chunk of money there. And then this is actually like the first set of things that I got. And I ordered that from Cooks on Gold. And I completed it myself, but sellers do complete sets, like beginner sets, for you. So you can check with Rio Grande or Cooks on Gold, or other sellers, Craft. Yeah, they're like, you can get a ready-made set, which sometimes is cheaper than buying things on your own. Although, if you're resourceful, you can actually complete the set even cheaper when you do it on your own, and not necessarily worse quality. So I would definitely encourage you to read and do the research and read the prices. I know it's exhausting, but it's really hard to do the shortcut. Like, you have to do the work and you have to do the research, because only then you will know. You will build your own confidence, knowledge, and experience. Obviously, I am happy to help whenever I can, and I'm glad that other makers helped me when I was starting out, but some amount of research is just necessary for you to grow, so you know which direction you need to go, where you need to go back if you need something again, etc. But to answer your question, I don't know, about maybe £100, $100 just to start. Like I said, the torch would be a third of this probably, and then some bits and bobs like soldering block, a hammer, a set of pliers. Yeah, so I don't know, 100, maybe 200. It's really hard to say, because it also depends on what technique you'll be working with and what is it that you specifically need. There might be some tools that I didn't consider important when I started, and they might be necessary for you. So it's best to just do the research, do the spreadsheet, mark each price, compare them among different sellers, like for example Cooks on Gold, Amazon, eBay. Try to think, if you're serious about this, try to think long term. So don't buy something just because it's super cheap. Think of the quality, because you might end up paying twice. And I did that with few of my tools: ring mandrel, hammers, pliers. So these were all things that I bought much cheaper, and I used them for a while because I didn't want to replace them straight away. It felt like losing money, but their quality was really bad, so the quality of my workflow was bad, and also I had extra work, for example, because pliers weren't well made, so they were leaving marks on the metal, so I had to clean the metal to remove those marks. So as you can see, although you're saving money here, you might end up wasting time, and time is money, so you're paying more essentially. So yeah, that would be my advice. Jewelry maker was always your profession? Love your work. Oh, thank you. No, not at all. I did make jewelry as a hobby. I studied history of art, I graduated, and then when I moved to United Kingdom, I became serious about creating jewelry, because that's essentially what I wanted to do. So yeah. So maybe, possibly in my mind, I was always jewelry maker, but for sometimes I just didn't realize it. I didn't take a hint while I was studying why possibly certain subjects were my favorite and others not. And those favorite ones were actually strongly connected with like silversmithing, dishes, jewelry, techniques, things like that. So, not the sharpest tool in the shed. How did you get the confidence to start selling your work? I don't think I got the confidence and I started selling my work. I think I was gaining confidence while I was selling my work. Like with many things, regardless what you do, if you're an illustrator, if you're a designer or jewelry maker, there won't be ever a point where you will be ready. No, that's not gonna happen, and you will always doubt yourself. The longer you wait, actually, the harder it will be for you to start. So you might just jump in and start doing something, because not many people will see you in the beginning, and that's actually quite a good thing, that when you're starting out there's not a big audience. So if you do realize that it's not for you and you want to step back, or I don't want to say fail, because it's not necessarily a failure to walk away from something, but if you fear that, oh, I'm gonna fail and everyone will see that, then no, not many people will see that. And also you're learning from failure. Embrace the failure. It's not a bad thing. It's just a learning process, learning about yourself and what your needs are, what you want to do. So it's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. It's not comfortable, but it's not bad. So don't wait to be confident to start selling. Just do it. No, but yeah, just do it and see where that takes you, see how that works for you. And while you're selling already, then you will learn things. Then you will gain the confidence and become more of a professional. So I just opened my shop and I think that was this confidence booster. Then I made few sales, again confidence booster, and few good reviews, few nice comments. I started growing my Instagram account, Facebook a little bit, so probably those comments were also confidence boosters. And yeah, myself recognizing my work, because you shouldn't always wait for external validation. You have to be the source of the validation too. If you like something, if it makes you happy, that means it's probably good. Okay, what will be for you the moment you make the transition to full-time jeweler? Stability, financial stability, mostly. It's sad that it's about the money, right? But that's the world we live in. I can't really escape it. I would love to just, be making money and that's it. But unfortunately, that's not how it is. We still need to do other things to support ourselves. And after I read Big Magic, I completely agree with the author that I just don't want to put that responsibility on my creativity too early to support me, because that might kill it and it will be stressful and it might end up just not working for me. So I just want my creativity to feel free to thrive and not exhausted with this expectation of supporting me, that it has to bring me money to survive. Yeah. Marketing tips. How to attract customers, since the algorithm has shifted a great deal. It has, hasn't it? It's really difficult, because I think like all of us are struggling with this right now. Again, regardless what you do, social media is changing. There's many platforms, but each one has certain algorithm and rules, and there's saturation. Like there's a lot of people, a lot of artists finally migrated to online platforms, and it's really hard. But on the other hand, there are tools that are also evolving. It's trying to combat this saturation. So I'm not for paid tools. Essentially, I'm not actually using any at the moment, But I know there are tools that you can use for Pinterest, for example, to help you keep up with the scheduling, with uploads and posting. Not so much with Instagram, but being regular, I think, is quite important. And the thing I want to explore next would be probably mailing lists. So I'm not going to tell you about it right now because I don't know much about it, but I've heard it's a good way to reach customers, and you have a power over your visibility. Like, everyone will get your email if they're subscribed to your mailing list most of the time. I think learning definitely. So keeping up with all these changes, keeping up with different strategies, reading about them, not stressing too much about them, but knowing what other people are doing case studies, see profiles that are doing very well, and see what are they doing. Are they posting more videos recently? That's interesting. Are they having a certain color scheme? And don't go and copy that color scheme. Rather think about, so they have a color scheme. It's probably because they treat their profile as a mood board. So maybe I could try that too and develop my own color scheme, my own vibe. I've noticed that photos of my space are doing pretty well on my Instagram, so that's what I want to share a bit more now, because I've realized I myself actually really like to look at other people's posts like this, and I'm actually saving them quite often because I just like to browse through them and get inspired, see how they organize their tools, see how they organize and decorate their space. The fact that I have flowers right now is also because I was so inspired by all these studio posts on Instagram and on Pinterest, and I've realized my space is so sad. I need flowers, I need green. And also for winter, but yeah, mostly because I thought that could be a nice thing to put in here and make it more interesting for people, for photos. So yeah, thinking about, sit down, spend some time each week to learn a bit more about this, maybe listen to podcasts and try to figure out what would be attractive for people in terms of your brand, your personality. What can you share that will inspire and interest people? I hope that will be helpful. Sorry, I'm not sharing anything concrete, but I don't really have anything concrete. I'm searching myself, and it's, like you said, it's a struggle every day. Love your work. Is jewelry your full-time work? Not yet, but almost. Yeah, almost. Definitely creating content is becoming my full-time job. So not just jewelry, but also content creation. Can you show something about wax jewels? Not yet, because I don't yet make jewelry using wax and castings or anything like that. But I know that my friend Caroline has started showing these videos on her channel. So I will link her and go check her out. She definitely has at least one video about wax casting and wax in general. So go check her out. What suggestions do you have for sanding tiny spaces from Pierce metal cutouts? Needle files, obviously. It's something you should have, and they are very helpful. So they are very, very tiny, and you can fit them in tiny spaces and have them in different grades. But also there's a great tip on Metalsmith Society page that you can use stripes. There's a great tip on Metalsmith Society page that you can use stripes of sanding paper, and if you have an old saw frame, you can actually attach that stripe on here and here. Here, thread it through that little hole and then attach it here, and then use it for sanding inside. I think that's a great tip. So try that out. How do you know what gauge to use for bezels, rings, earring posts, etc.? Experimenting, trying different things, reading and learning. You don't know it. You don't just know it. You have to learn it. So there are different books, there are different channels, different articles, blog posts. Like, there's so much information out there. Not to mention that Metalsmith Society also made a wonderful blog post about different gauges and metal, like best for jewelry making. So check it out, it will be linked below. But apart from that, like, there are many different books about this, and so you can start there. You can start what someone recommended and then take it from there. If something's too thick for you, then try to use something thinner. If you consider something too thin, then start using something thicker. And with rings, for example, you have to start with certain techniques to learn, but then once you know all the rules, you can not necessarily break them, but you can just experiment, transform it to your own needs and adjust it. So if you've been using thicker gauge wire for rings, maybe you would like to have a split band, and for that you will use two wires of thinner thickness. So yeah, experimenting, it's a great way. How to make a living from making jewelry? It's a broad question. It might be even worth making a separate video about this. First, you will have to learn and experiment and be confident with your craft. And when you feel like you're confident enough, you can open a shop and start selling your pieces, and then learn about marketing, learn about your ideal customer, start a brand, create a brand, start a business, learn about business. And then once you feel comfortable with all of that and you think like, this is it, I can grow it, you can maybe invest in courses. There's lots of courses online, not just with jewelry making, but marketing, photography, because there's so much that goes into running business and jewelry business as well, because to sell jewelry you have to know how to sell it, and photos sell, platforms sell, good marketing, interesting social media. So definitely learning about that and becoming a master, and then you can develop strategies. You can adjust strategies that someone else developed. You can take them and use them in your business. And then when you have a little bit of knowledge, you can start creating your own strategies. And depending on what you would like to sell, if it's minimal jewelry, lots of different tiny stud earrings maybe, or statement jewelry, few very beautiful artisan rings or necklaces, depending on what it is, you can take it in a different directions and start and keep selling, keep making. And yeah, I can't really tell you the golden rule to make a living out of selling jewelry. What I did was I stayed consistent and persistent, and I just every day worked towards this goal, because I knew this is what I want to do. Once I tried it, I was even more confident and sure that this is what I want to do. So every day making jewelry, every day learning about something, running notebooks, journals, doing courses, just, learning. I think this is the key for successful business, wherever it is, if it's illustration or jewelry making. The market is saturated, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's overly saturated. I wouldn't say that you don't have a chance, because if you're creating what's in your mind, like your ideas, no one else will be able to make the same thing. So everyone has something to offer, and it is hard to get an audience quick today because of the algorithm and everything. But if you stay persistent, if you keep working, you will get to the point, but give yourself time. Time is the key here, and this is something I struggle with. I'm very impatient. I would really just love to be at a certain point right now, and it's really hard for me to wait for it. But yeah, I just have to remind myself every day that it's about time, and being patient, and just show up and do the work. Yeah. What has been your biggest small business challenge? How did you overcome it? Impatience. And I didn't overcome it. Not yet. I definitely need some more time, but yeah, I'm trying. Every day I'm trying to be better and just give myself time and keep working. And another challenge, I'm not sure, because like technical challenges, so like writing business plan, taking photos, all things like that, it's easy to overcome them, because when you're learning and keep trying, eventually you will be better, and you will fix problems, and you will get knowledge that's needed for this. So not gonna get into details with that, because that can be fixed with education and learning and practice. But yeah, I think mindset is the biggest thing that I personally need to work on. Okay, that will be all for today. I hope you've enjoyed my answers to these questions. I didn't prepare them. I decided to go with the flow today and just speak my mind when I see the question. So I hope that was real and more realistic for you. And yes, I hope you've enjoyed it. So if you did, and if you'd like to see more videos, consider subscribing to my channel, like this video and comment below. And I hope I will see you in the next video soon. Have a wonderful week and take care. Bye.